Ever since I've been a child, I've had a passion for art. This is me at 17 years old studying fine art. Okay, this actually isn't fine art, this was woodwork. I don't have any photos of me doing fine art, but trust me, I did do it. I studied it for 2 years. 2 long, hard years. I put my blood, sweat, tears into my art. And I failed. Yep, I got a D. And ever since then, I've not created any art. My childhood dreams of being an artist were over. That wasn't until today, because I've come up with a plan to make my dreams come true and live out my dream of being an artist by tricking an art gallery into putting me, a failed artist, up in their exhibition. But look, I'm not talking any gallery. I'm talking one of the biggest ones in the world, the Royal Academy of Art. Now, the reason I chose the Royal Academy is actually step 1 in the plan. As I said, I'm not qualified for this. I'm a failed artist. No art gallery is going to take me seriously when I've got a D on my record. However, every year, the Royal Academy has an annual show called the Summer Exhibition. It's the world's largest open submission art exhibition, and it's been going for over 250 years. So the way this exhibition works is every year, 18,000 people can enter. Each person can submit 2 artworks, and out of those 18,000 entries, around 1,000 get selected to be in the exhibition. Now, if you get selected, your art goes on the wall and your work is for sale, and the general public pay to see it and potentially buy. Now, I went to this exhibition in 2024, and walking around is when I got the idea. I could have my art on the wall without anyone ever knowing I was a failed artist. Because when you think about it, the odds aren't that crazy. Literally 1 in 16 chances. And if you make 2 pieces of art, that's halved. 1 in 8 chances. However, to be honest, this isn't a competition of luck. This is a competition of skill. And I clearly have no skill. I got graded a D. So in order to enter this competition, I needed to be strategic. Which is where step 2 comes in. Because I'm never going to be the most talented artist entering this competition. So I needed to find out every single trick I could use to try and increase my chances of being picked. However, straight away, I was hit with a harsh reality.
Altogether, there are 1,613 pieces in the show. A number of those are invited people. So they were asked to exhibit. If you are just going to randomly send something in the hope you might get exhibited, your chances will be less than 7.5%, quite significantly.
So this actually wasn't going to be as easy as I thought. But luckily, this guy did give us some advice.
If you want to get in, submit a print in a frame with a good editions of at least 50 editions. So they will make money off that, whereas they're not going to make so much off a single painting that sells for £800.
So despite the harsh reality, this was helpful. But for step 3, I needed to see it for myself. So in 2025, I headed back to the summer show to try and see if there was any patterns of what the judges like. Because the thing about the summer exhibition is there's no criteria. You can make anything you want. It can be huge, it can be tiny, it can be a painting, drawing, photo, sculpture. And when I say it can be anything, it can literally be anything. From a kid sitting on a gaming chair with a bottle of Prime, to a cat and hat that says, I found cod, to a cat and monster on the floor. And yes, this guy clearly loved this one. But the one thing I did notice was there was a lot of pets. Dogs, cats, rabbits, lions, insects. So the one big trend I was seeing was animals. So I thought this would make sense to try and use this in my artwork because clearly the judges love animals. Also, you notice on all these paintings, these red dots, don't worry about them. I'll explain them later in the video. So now I bought 2 entries to the summer show, which cost £40 each. All right, and with that, I'm entered. I now have 1 month to create 2 pieces of artwork that are good enough to go into an art gallery. I've never created a piece of art that's good enough to go into an art gallery, and I'm giving myself a month to make 2. This is gonna be a long month. But I didn't have time to think about it, so I began drawing, sketching out some animals, mainly cats. I'll be honest, some of these animals, I don't even know what they are. I was going for cats. This kind of looks like a fox. Yeah, they're all very questionable. I had no idea what I was doing. I felt stuck, and I felt in order to go forward, I had to go backwards into the past. So I head into my loft for step 4. Take a trip down memory lane into the artwork that failed me as an artist. So let's take a look at this D-rated artwork. All right, I'm gonna speed run you through this because there's a lot of artwork and it's not great. There was a lot of football-related art, if you can even call this art. Why am I doing football things about the best football players for art? Yeah, as a teenager, this was pretty much my only interest. So I was just drawing loads of pictures of Messi. But it wasn't just football, there was some self-portraits. If this is supposed to be me, it looks nothing like me. However, going through all this, I realised how much experimentation I did at school. From different colours, shapes, sizes, materials, mediums. If we're being honest, a lot of this work is not great. The colours aren't great, the execution's not great. However, there is experimentation and it's quite fun. Did I deserve a D? To be honest, I probably deserve lower than a D. I think they were probably being quite nice for the D. Honestly, this is bringing back so many memories. I forgot I did half of this. I remember doing a lot of like pencil drawing stuff. That was kind of like what I was most comfortable with and I thought I was the best at. Which is what I've kind of been trying to do recently. However, looking through this, these are not my favorites. These are just boring. But the stuff that I actually look at, I'm like, whoa, I actually remember making this. It was a lot of fun. And this is really cool. It's all the experimental stuff. So I think going forward, that's what we need to focus on more. I feel inspired. My past self that was clearly trying to be an artist and failed because I got a D, inspired me, my future self. I feel like I know what we have to do now. So I made some upgrades to my equipment. I got some new paper, some pens, pencil, oil pastels. And from here, over the next month, I got creative. Trying out the new items I bought, from the oil pastels to the paints to the pencils, even mixing them all together. I've not used any of these things for like 10 years, so it's all relearning. So every day I was coming back to my sketchbook, trying out new things, testing out different methods. I was looking through Pinterest for inspiration. However, I decided the only inspiration I really needed was my own cat. I started drawing this picture of my cat Ruby, who sadly passed away a couple years ago, and I think it was something about the personal connection connection of it actually being my cat that I kept coming back to it, spending hours and hours changing little things. I was still also trying other stuff, but I always kept coming back to this one picture. Day after day, I kept drawing, kept experimenting until we came to the end of the month. And with that, today is the 11th of February, which is the deadline for submitting our artwork. And I'll be honest, I've definitely bit off more than I can chew by buying 2 entries. Literally, I've barely got 1 entry that I actually want to submit. The one that I'm happiest with so far is this one. It's of my cat. The face is still a little bit messed up. I kind of need to still do the eyes. But other than that, I literally have nothing else. Don't get me wrong, I have made other stuff. It's just not very good, but I guess I'm just going to have to submit one of them. I've got this one here, which I quite like. It's not very good, but it's quite fun. As you can see, it's a cat walking on the beach with a fish in his mouth. But yeah, I think these 2 artworks are what we're submitting. Am I confident in that decision? Not at all. But listen, it's the last day. I've been trying to do this for a whole month, and this is all we've got. Art is actually hard. Who would have thought it? So I went ahead with submitting my art, and whilst doing so, we had to pick a price. Now, I'll be honest, I had no idea about pricing art, because I'm not an artist. In fact, let's test your knowledge of pricing art with a quick game of guess the art price. So first off, we've got the long distance gamer. How much do you think this was priced at? I'll give you a few seconds, think about it, comment it down below. £1,250. Next up, we have I Found Cod. A lot smaller, but how much do you think this is worth? Think about it, think about it. £4,000. Next up, we got this one, Superhero Rabbit. What's your predictions on this one? It's small, it's simple, it's to the point. Well, this one was only £140. And then finally, we've got this one, Glacier Sea. How much do you think this one costs? Pretty big, it's colourful. Well, the price of this one is £80,000. Let me know how you did in the comments, how close you were to any of them. Hopefully this shows you how big of a variety there is in this exhibition. By looking through the previous year's book, there was some from £65 all the way to £180,000. A lot of the stuff that's similar to us, oil pastel drawings, they're at least like, you know, a good £600. I mean, listen, if I'm trying to convince them I'm an artist, I need to charge like an artist. So you know what? I'm gonna say £650. I went through the rest of the sheet, which said I had to take photos of the artwork, so I did that. I also scanned it to make sure it was looking good, because this is what the judges are gonna be judging this off. But while I was doing this, I had a slight change of heart. I actually ended up making this one £650, and I made this one £800. I know it's a lot of money, but listen, I was like, if this one's gonna be £650, they can't be the same price. This one literally looks like it was done by a child. So I thought this one, it's gotta be a little bit more. So as you can see, we've got Chair Reserved, which is my cat Ruby on a chair. And then we got Dinner by the Sea, the cat eating the fish by the sea. With that, guys, we've got a few hours left of the deadline. Submit. It is done. Our details are submitted. Now all we can do is wait to see if we get approved. This is actually crazy. My artwork is actually gonna get officially judged. Little do they know, I failed art. Right, it's been about a month. I've literally completely forgot about it. I just got an email that I saw from the RA. So let's see what it says. Okay, first one. Dear Georgemason, thank you for submitting digital images. Members of the committee have carefully considered entry to inform me that it has not been selected for the next stage. But to be fair, that was Dinner by the Sea. That one was pretty terrible. So let's hope we've got one more email from them. Let's see this. Oh! I've been shortlisted! Thank you for submitting digital images of Chair Reserve. We're pleased to inform you that your artwork has been shortlisted and ask you to deliver it to the RA for the final round of judging. Let's go, I've been shortlisted. Take that, art teacher, I'm a shortlisted artist now. Yeah, you may have gave me a D, but look at me now, I'm a shortlisted artist. Now once I calmed down, I actually looked through the email and I saw there was some artwork requirements, which said framing your artwork was strongly encouraged and not doing so was at your own risk. All right, I need to buy a frame right now. However, we couldn't go cheap. I needed this to look premium. So I got this custom frame made. It was quite expensive in the end, it was £40, but it was really high quality. It's slightly thicker than expected, but I'm hoping that should be fine. I then cut out the artwork, and yes, I did this with kids' safety scissors. I'm the biggest fraud to go in. Then it was time to sign it. I dated it, numbered it, and I did a little note at the end. I'm not an artist. And then on this scrap paper of me practicing my autograph, I wrote a secret note to if anyone actually buys this, and I then stamped it with a catfish stamp of approval. I packed it all up, and the final piece was done. And today is the day, the 7th of May, the day we have to drop off our artwork to the gallery to hopefully be accepted. I'm trying to wear my most artistic outfit. The first rule of being a catfish is fake it till you make it. Gotta go with confidence. I am an artist. And as an artist, I needed to pack up my work so it didn't get damaged on the train. The only box I had was this YouTube one that they sent me for a lamp. And I didn't have any bubble wrap, so I just ended up using my socks. Very professional, but look, it worked. So with that, I packed it up, I headed onto the train, all the way to the gallery. I headed inside, followed the signs. Are you guys delivering it all? Yeah. Yes, I'm definitely supposed to be here, and my artwork is not currently protected by my socks. I headed inside and had to unwrap my work. However, I was being closely watched by these 2 employees. I didn't want them to see my socks, because what serious artist packs their artwork with their socks? So I quickly took them out and tried to hide them, and act like nothing happened. No, he loved my artwork. I was blending in. He has no idea that I just stuffed 4 pairs of socks down my pants to try and act normal. However, there was someone in the back with an absolutely massive piece, which just made mine look pathetic. But either way, they packed mine up, they put the label on it, and I said goodbye. The next time I'll see this artwork is either on a gallery wall or probably back in this room if I have to go pick it up if I don't get in. So I left hopeful with my fingers crossed, because over the next month began the judging period. Now, the way they judge these artworks is like nothing I've seen before. They do it over the space of 3 days. There's around 7 judges, and they literally just show them every single artwork. Literally around 4,000 1,000 pieces. They're shown each one for a few seconds, and they have to all vote in the split seconds that they see it whether they want it to go in the exhibition or not. It's intense, it's insane, and I was worried because my artwork is small and very easy to be overlooked. But all I could do was wait one more month until the results came in. Today is the day. Today is May 29th, 2026. And I've just received a notification on email saying my submission has been updated. Oh my gosh, right. Let's just read this. Dear Georgemason, we are delighted to let you know your artwork chair reserve has been selected for this year's... I've been selected! Oh my gosh. I've made it. I've been accepted. I was fully accepting it to say you've been rejected, sorry. I've been chosen. I'm an artist, I guess. This is the exact spot I sat here and showed you my artwork. The artwork that my art teacher rated a D has now got me into one of the UK's biggest galleries. After quitting making art because I felt like I wasn't good enough, this feeling was like a high I'd never felt. However, you know what they say, when you're experiencing a high, it can be quickly followed by a low. Yeah, that hurt. But despite the pain, I was still on top of the world. A couple of days later, I received a letter from the gallery giving me my own exhibitor card, which allows me to get into the exhibition for free. This is a flex. Georgemason, official artist. When did I get graded at school for art? Don't worry about it. I'm an artist. Also on the letter, it invited me to a varnishing day, which is essentially just an early preview for all the artists to see their work. And in my very classic fraud style.
I'm very late right now.
So I ran to the gallery, and luckily I just about made it.
You actually might not be too late.
I was here at the exhibition, quite out of breath. I just ran for like 10 minutes straight. However, I was feeling a bit uncomfortable.
Everyone is just talking to each other. I feel like such an outsider. I'm literally an imposter.
I was surrounded by serious artists. I tried to walk around and see if anyone would talk to me. Everyone was just already in their conversations, which is kind of my fault for turning up late. I was overhearing people talk about what art university they went to, where they studied, about how much they pay to rent their own studio. Whereas I was here after drawing a picture of my cat in my bedroom.
This feels very strange.
How my feelings being uncomfortable were interrupted.
What? What's this noise?
There was a whole parade of church people and just, I don't really know. I was confused. Everyone seemed to know what was going on and I didn't want to stand out. I was trying to blend in. I didn't want to act like a clueless guy that got a D in art. I needed to act like I was one of them. So I followed the crowd, we headed onto the street, and I somehow ended up at the front of the line.
I don't know why.
And they led us to a church. I headed inside, took a seat. It turns out this was a service for artists. Once again, everyone was talking, apart from me. Listen, I am socially awkward, but it just felt like everyone knew each other, and I knew no one. I feel like they could smell the D grade on me. But thankfully, the service then started. They had a choir with one of these guys, which I thought was fun. I've never seen one of them in real life. Yeah, the church ceremony then ended. We headed back to the gallery, and it was time to finally see our work. I headed inside, I grabbed a book, and I searched for my artwork. Now, this exhibition has over 1,000 pieces of art, so it wasn't easy to find.
Where is it?
I kept looking, I wasn't seeing it.
Where is it? I cannot find it anywhere.
Until I finally found it.
What's that?
And this was the moment it all felt very real. My artwork was up in an exhibition. The same exhibition I'd been to for 2 years in a row. Looking around, dreaming of mine being on the wall. It now was. I'd made it. So without further ado, here it is. Chair reserved. Yes, I know, it's absolutely tiny. It looked bigger in my bedroom, okay? But on the wall, it does look tiny compared to all the others. But hey, it's on the wall. That's all that matters. In one of the biggest exhibitions in the country. And my name was in the history books. Georgemason. I was truly living out my dream of being an artist. I was in an exhibition with some of my favourite artists. Marina Abramovich, Tracy Emin. Just having my name in the same sentence as them is crazy. All the research and preparation we did paid off. They literally had a whole wall of cats. And we were right in the centre. My cat, Ruby. And after this, people started talking to me.
Sitting in front of me at the church saying this.
Oh, was I?
My fellow artists, I was accepted. I was one of them. No one asked me what I got graded at school. People were just kind, wanted to see my art, I wanted to see theirs. And it made me realise people weren't as scary as I thought. Mission accomplished, we had done it. I was gonna say we tricked an art gallery, but the beautiful thing about this exhibition is there's no need to trick them. It makes art inclusive, even for people that failed at school. I think that's great. Now, one thing I mentioned earlier was these red dots. Now, they basically tell you if a piece of art is sold or not. So the big red dot by the art number, that means the original sold, and then the small red dots, that means prints of it are sold. Now, from the advice of the guy earlier, the more prints you have, the more likely you are to get picked. However, I'll be honest, I didn't realise you had to do it when you submitted your work. So I didn't even submit any prints of it, only the
Whereas
original.
you're not going to make so much off a single painting that sells for £800.
Whoops, yeah, that was my bad. Now, on the varnishing day, there was no red dots because it wasn't open to the public yet. A few days later, the doors opened to some celebrities and the public. And on day 2, I got an email. So, it's been 2 days now since the exhibition has started, and I've got an email from the RA. Artwork sales related to your account have reached the threshold that require us to report certain information to HMRC. Now, I don't know if this means my artwork is sold. I feel like maybe it does. I mean, they're not telling me that. They're just like, you need to pay tax. Surely if I need to pay tax, that means my artwork has been sold. On the back of the book you get, you can buy the artwork online. Okay, so as you can see, browse and buy artworks. Okay, let's do that. Browse and buy. All right, so here we go. We got this one sold. This one sold. This one not sold. Not sold. Sold. Here's mine. Wait, we're gonna go down. Has it been sold? Is that a red dot? It's a red dot! Sold out! It's been sold! Chair reserve Georgemason! £800! Let's go! Oh my gosh, I've done it. I've gone from literally failing my art studies to becoming an artist that's in an exhibition. But not just that, a member of the public, going to that exhibition, seeing my artwork, thinking that is so nice, I want that, and paying £800 for it. Is £800 cheap? Why did it sell so quick? Guys, if anyone wants an artwork, £800 please. I'll take commissions. Now, even though my artwork sold, it's still going to be in the exhibition until the 23rd of August 2026. So if you're watching this, you're in London, and you want to see a D-rated artist's work in real life, head to the Royal Academy Summer Show and check it out. And if you do, take a selfie with it, tag me on Instagram, and I'll be resharing them all. Guys, honestly, what can I say? Never give up on your dreams. If you love something, don't let it go. If someone tells you you're not good at something, don't listen to them. Don't quit, because someone out there will appreciate your work. They might pay £800 for it. Guys, on that note, this has been Georgemason, an official artist, a best-selling artist. If you have enjoyed, like the video. And guys, never refer to me as a YouTuber again, alright? I'm not an influencer, I'm an artist. Guys, it's been Georgemason. I'll see you next time. Over and out. Boom.
Did someone say catfish? Yeah, that's me. I look 6 foot, but I'm 5'3". Take a look at my Insta, and you might see a model, a rich kid, but that's not me.